Hi, let me show you how to write a good resume. This resume is of an IT student by the name of Rohit Kumar. He has made sure that there is enough white space, icons, and text such that his resume is clear to understand. What he has smartly done is used blue such that his resume stands out from the rest. Let's look at the first key field that is there on his resume. Your name. Your name is the first thing that a recruiter sees, so make sure that it stands out in your resume. Use a font that is 2 times bigger than the one that you've used to write your resume. That just helps the recruiter identify your name. Other important information is mobile number, email ID, and address. When you're mentioning your mobile number, make sure it's the number that a recruiter can reach out to you on. Another thing that's really important is the email address should be professional. In your address, you don't need to mention the entire PIN code and the village address and the main road. You just need to make a note of the area that you live in. It's important to mention the area since the recruiter gets to know how far would you have to travel to get to the workplace. If you have a website or a profile that you want to highlight, you can mention it in the contact information part. The second key field that you should keep in mind is your objective. Objective generally tells the recruiter about what are your career aspirations, but what they search for are keywords. Keywords like perfect, hardworking, professional. Avoid using such keywords. It is advisable to be as specific and clear as possible. Make sure that your objective is not more than 4 lines. I generally advise my students that even if they have done an internship, they should make a mention of it on your resume. It's important for the recruiter to know that you have some work experience in a professional setup. When you're putting down your work experience, make sure you mention the duration and which company have you worked for as an intern. Also, make sure that you've put down your contribution to the company and not responsibilities. Now, why responsibilities and not contribution? The recruiter would like to know how have you contributed as an intern to any project or any task that has been assigned to you. So it's important that you make a mention of all your contributions no matter how small they are. This helps the recruiter understand the kind of effort you put in even when you're working as an intern. Another important point that you should keep in mind is use bullets. Bullets just makes your resume easy to read and doesn't look like a wall of text. It is extremely important to put down your education. Having said that, you need to start with your most recent education qualification first and then put down the other details later. In Rohit's resume, he has completed his B.Tech. That is why he has put Bachelor's of Technology first, followed by his 12th standard details and then his 10th standard details. This is the best way to put down your details on your resume. What you need to make sure is you should not use abbreviations or short forms. And it is advisable to always make a mention of the percentage with which you've cleared. Even if you have cleared with 40% or 50%, rather than putting in as second class, make sure you mention the correct percentage. This just helps the recruiter shortlist your resume or at least gets a sense of clarity of how much have you scored in your 10th and 12th. Another extremely important thing that you should highlight in your resume are the skills that you have learned. Remember, skills are not strengths and skills are not traits. Skills is something that you have learned. Rohit Kumar has put down Java, HTML, CSS since he is looking out for a software developer's job and these are the skills that he has learned. But if you are looking out for any other job outside the IT industry, it is nice to mention that you know basic skills like MS Word, MS Excel, Google Sheets, or any other technical skill that you have learned and would add value to your job. Don't just mention the skills and write it down in a table format. It's nicer to show how much of the skill do you know. You can either mention it in words like basic, beginner, advanced or intermediate level, or you can use a bar graph or a diagram to show how proficient you are in the particular skill. This adds a visual appeal to your resume and makes it easier for the recruiter to understand your skill and how much do you know of it. Another important area that you can highlight on your resume is languages known. If you are proficient in a certain foreign language like French, Spanish, or Italian, it's nicer to highlight it. You can also highlight regional languages if you are proficient, and you can make a mention whether you can write, read, or speak the language. It is better to first highlight your skills and languages, and only if you have space on your resume, make a mention of your strengths. Make sure you do not add too many strengths. It's better to use 1 or 2 adjectives so that the recruiter understands the capabilities you have for the job. Willingness to learn, solution-driven, teamwork, these are a few good keywords that you can put on your resume. It just shows a little bit about your personality. Before I end this video, there are 2 areas that I would like to highlight. 1, if you have won any award which is related to your work or related to your education, it is nice to highlight it in your resume. Having said that, do not put in awards which you have won in your society competition or in school. Achievement is something that you should be proud of. You should make a mention of it on your resume such that the recruiter notices it. In the same manner, if you do not have any achievement but you have done some certification which will add value, please do make a mention of it on your resume. Well, that's it. That's the end. Thank you for watching this resume guide, and if you want to know more, click on the link mentioned below. See you next time with more learnings.